Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of Behind Enemy Lines, the football podcast where none of us root for the home team. My name's DT, as always, joined by Yazzie, Coxie, and Mario, fans of the Jets, Bucks, and Giants, respectively, to go along with my Cards fandom. And we hope you enjoy, as you do every week. I think to change things up this week, gentlemen, we're going to do our shot takes first so that we get real nice and loose for these playoff games coming up. So I guess I will at least start because I had 2 shot takes. Neither of them were successful. My shot takes were Washington sacks Brady 5 times. 2 of them would be by Chase Young. Incorrect. They only got 3, and Chase Young didn't get any of them. And my other shot take was that DK Metcalf would have 100 or more yards in the game. And DK Metcalf was only able to muster 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, because I'm a fool, I have to do 2 of these. But I'm not the only one who has to do 2 of these. Coxie, you also have to do 2 of these because you had the Bucks would score over 35 points, which they did not, and Josh Allen would have 4+ TDs, which he also did not. Joining us, though, are both of our other esteemed colleagues here. Uncle Mario here said King Henry would have under 100 rushing yards, and he would. His second one was Brady also throws 2 picks. He was correct about King Henry, so hats off to you for that one. That was very astute. Yeah, that was very astute. But you were incorrect about Brady. Yeah, and Jay, our esteemed Jonathan Taylor, the rookie we love, did not have 200 rush yards. So you also have to do one. So I say we do this first one together, and then me and Cox do the second one together as the handsome sex appeal of this podcast.
I went with a little Buccaneers tribute and some Captain Morgan's private stock.
I respect that. I got Whistle Pig 10 year aged here.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I went old school, and I just went with a little chilled fireball.
Old man's trying to feel young again, like he's back in college.
The old-fashioned bully boy here.
Classic, distinguished. All right, let me know when you boys are ready.
Always ready.
I'm always.
I know Jay's pouring. Mm-hmm. That was healthy. That was a long pour.
That was a nice pour, Jay.
Yeah,
I like that.
To not being as good at this as we think we are.
Yes.
And to
being as bad as the guy to my left, top left, and the bottom right.
Oh God, Jesus Christ! Unreal. Love you guys.
Salute.
That's good. That's spicy.
That's actually really nice. I've never had the private stock before. That's very nice.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Whistle Pig, you absolutely cannot go wrong with Whistle Pig.
Ooh.
Yeah, we have a second one.
It's unrivaled, dude. That's one of the best whiskeys.
I told you it's ridiculous. Not a sponsor. Whistle Pig in Vermont. Hit me up. I drink this shit every week.
Yeah, can we get a sponsor? Whistle?
Yeah.
I'd love that.
We would love that. So
let's go.
For having,
I need a little bit of 20 bottles of whistle.
for having the balls to do 2 of these shot takes, and for not having the foresight to get either of them correct.
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers. And that, my friends, is how we start a podcast.
Things are getting too spicy for the pepper.
Oh God, you and your American Dad references. Ridiculous.
Reference. I got it.
Yeah, I did too. I got it. So we'll start as we always do with headlines and in This Week in Football. And there's a lot of stuff going on that we will get to later with our big question. So if you're thinking, why aren't they talking about this? You strap in because we got a long form deep dive into some of the stuff you're probably thinking about coming up soon. But I think for This Week in Football, the most important things that happened, other than the other things we'll talk about later, there were some wild card games. Several of them, in fact. And there were some results that were very, very interesting as we go through. And the first one I want to talk about is the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns won their first playoff game in I don't know how many years because I didn't prepare for this. Does anybody have that number offhand?
I think since 1994, but I could be wrong.
Dang, we were almost not alive, some of us.
Brain on breath.
Mario was 40 then, but the rest of us weren't alive, or were very, very young. So
You were glimmering your dad's sack.
no, I was alive. 94, I was alive.
You're the stats and info guy. Look that up for us.
I'm getting it. I'm already on it.
So
Get on it.
they did a repeat of their Week 17 victory over the Steelers, despite the fact that the Steelers played basically everybody they had available and healthy, which honestly I was a little surprised by, but also with the way that team's kind of been operating since their 11-0 start. It's not the most shocking thing in the world. I know a lot of you guys have feelings about this, so I think I'm going to open with Jay, who has labeled them the most overrated 11-0 team of all time. So, Jay, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on the game, on Pittsburgh? Do you think they're done? All of that aspects. Cox, go to the stats first.
Real quick. Jay was off by 1 year. New Year's Day, 1995, beating the
Oh, okay. But the 94 season, though. 94 season, though.
It would be the fair enough.
We'll give it to you.
Okay, I'll take it. As far as the Steelers, yeah, I've been saying it for like probably months now, right? That they're the most overrated, undefeated team in the NFL when they were still undefeated. I think they ranked like 22nd in total offense this year, and I was told by all the Steelers fans that once we got Big Ben back, that they were going to be this fucking juggernaut. That it was all on Mason Rudolph, not being terrible. And don't get me wrong, he's terrible. But I think Ben, I think it might be time to move on. It might be time to find something new. He ranked 16th in yards this year, behind Ryan Tannehill. I know everyone loves Ryan Tannehill, but I mean, he's fine. He's not great. James Conner had 721 yards rushing. That was their leading rusher of the year, which ranked 22nd overall.
Mm-hmm.
And their leading receiver. Did anybody have any thoughts on who their leading receiver was?
Chase Claypool.
Nope.
Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson. Yeah. 923 yards, which is not a pedestrian effort. However, hey, Ed.
Yeah, he's hanging. Continue.
My boy.
Not a pedestrian effort, but when you don't have a 1,000-yard receiver and you're supposed to be this juggernaut, it doesn't bode well. I think the Browns, they just straight up have a better team.
I believe that.
And I think it showed. Obviously, it showed last week. But is it the end for the Steelers? Maybe. They need a new quarterback, though.
I 100% agree. Where do you think they find that quarterback before I move on to somebody else's take?
I mean, you could trade for, a Stafford. You could trade for a Darnold. You could trade for. I mean, you could pull a Titans and grab somebody that people have given up on, maybe a Rosen type deal.
It'd be spicy.
Other than that, you're not going to draft a franchise quarterback in the first round this year with their position in the first. It's just not going to happen.
No, that's fair.
Unless you have like a Russell Wilson situation where everybody is like, no, like giving up on the guy. I don't see it happening in the draft.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that's a fair enough point. Cox, it sounded like you were going to say something, so I'll go to you next. What's your thoughts on all this?
Yeah. I mean, Jay's right. There's really no way that they can do a draft or draft a quarterback. This was a dismantling. This was a complete dismantling of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The little brother finally just had enough and kicked the ever-living shit out of the big brother. And if you this is one of those games where, like, if you look at the stat line, if you just purely look at the stat line, like, the score doesn't make sense. Because, like, the Pittsburgh Steelers stats for the game are absolutely ridiculous, but they're not indicative of what actually took place during the game. The Cleveland Browns methodically took advantage of every single turnover that the Steelers gave them. They just methodically took them apart. And it shows, one, that their defense is really reliant on a few players. And I'm really shocked TJ Watt was kind of non-existent in this game at all. And their offense, it just shows a huge problem with their offense. Big Ben, I don't think he can do it anymore. But I think they can kind of try and find a bridge guy, someone who's looking for a bounce back year, and they're kind of in a almost like what New England did this year, but obviously they have better pieces around them. But if they can go get someone like Jameis Winston, I think, is a very interesting prospect for them because he can throw to these guys that they have. They're not going to be able to. I don't think. Is Claypool on coming up to his contract?
No, he's a rookie.
He was a rookie.
Yeah, Claypool was a rook this year.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Is it Johnson? Who's there's
Juju, I think. Juju's in his contract.
Sorry.
TikToking all over the logo and shit.
Yeah, like I don't think he's going to be back.
No, I doubt it.
So, but Jameis in this offense, I think Jameis, if they keep Tomlin, I think Jameis fits really well with that locker room personality. I think he can obviously, we know he can huck the ball. So I think he'll kind of fit in and he'll kind of get that deep threat offense back that Big Ben's lost clearly. So I think that might be something that they can kind of look to going forward. There's not many guys that they can look to, so they do have to be really quick in free agency and kind of snatch up a guy.
Their cap is a big issue. It's a very big issue.
Do we know what it is? Should I check it out?
They can't, from what I've read, they can't afford to keep most of their playmakers. Bud Dupree's going to be gone. Juju's going to be gone. There's a couple others that they're in cap hell right now. It's because of the Big Ben contract.
Yeah.
Right. No, and I completely agree with you. But so that's why I think like if you get like Jameis Winston's not going to cost you anything.
Yeah, no, Jameis Winston. Yeah, no.
So
right.
like you got to get a guy under 5. Like there, you have to.
Yeah, Steelers are going to be just real quick. Steelers are going to be 21 million over the cap going into 2021.
So they're going to have to cut a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're gonna have to go. So I think then does this become the time? The bigger question is, does this become the time where you blow it up? Do you completely blow it up? Do you fire Tomlin? Do you get rid of a lot of your offense? Do you get rid of talent and just try and stockpile picks and try and rebuild? Like, I don't. There's really, those are the two extremes. Like, you either try and stick with what you have and get a quarterback super cheap, or you completely blow it up.
What do you think they do?
They're really adverse to blowing it up. Like, they don't seem like they're a team that really, but they try and be consistent. So I think they're going to try and stick with Tomlin. I don't think Tomlin's a bad coach. I just think the culture there has gotten to this point where it's very look at us, like they're okay with talking smack. They're okay with TikToking on people's logos or whatever.
Well, Juju is. I don't know about.
Well, no, well, clearly the organization didn't care all through the winning streak, but as soon as it became a problem, then it's like, okay, well, no,
that's a good point.
That's very fair.
That's a good point.
I don't think you should be allowing that at all.
Yeah,
because you're just fueling the fire, and it just builds and builds and builds, and you're going to do it to the wrong team, and they're going to kick your ass.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can't allow stuff like that to go on. Like you can allow players to like have personality to a point, but at a point you have to be professional and be like, look, we're here to play football. Yeah. This isn't about your TikTok.
We serve food here, sir.
Yeah. Like, so I don't know.
So this is a Wendy's?
Yeah. Like, so I don't think they're going to blow it up. I think they should, but I don't think
they won't.
So is Jameis your like pick for who they get?
I would say Jameis. I think that's their best bet, to be honest with you.
I actually love that, and I hadn't thought about that till you said that.
I hadn't thought that either, and
he's like a glove almost fits like real good. You don't think so? Well, Mario, we haven't gone to you yet, so you tell me all your thoughts and feelings.
Well, first, we're going to talk about the game. The game was just like everything that could have gone wrong for Pittsburgh went wrong in the first 10 minutes of that game. Yeah. Okay, it was over.
Unbelievable, the level of like what the fuckery that happened.
It was over before it even started. But if we want to get into stuff like that, let's talk about Pittsburgh and the coach. He's not going anywhere.
No,
he was coach of the year candidate last year. He's not going anywhere. They love him over there, and they're not getting rid of him. As far as Jameis Winston, it's a great idea. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I personally, and we'll talk about it later, I personally think he stays in Houston. Somehow it's going to happen. But
Jameis in Houston?
I mean, no, Winston.
New Orleans.
He's going to stay in Houston.
He's not in Houston.
Jameis Winston, New Orleans.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I was thinking of the wrong.
It's
Sorry.
Watson.
Drew Brees is going to stay in New Orleans. So controversial. No, I get it.
I'm kidding. No, listen, guys. I have so many thoughts in my head, like shit's.
No, don't worry about it.
Before I even get to think about it, but Tomlin he made some interesting comments this week in the New York Post. I was reading about it, where he didn't commit to Ben. He did not commit to him.
He shouldn't.
Yeah, and he said, "Listen, I haven't really evaluated and this and that." Do I think this season is his fault? I don't. I think they had a lot of bad luck this year. Pouncey was out. They had, the guys on defense were out. I just think, and then you got a wide receiver, and believe me, I know all about wide receivers who love to run out the mouth, like a la, OBJ. To me, it's one of those things where the Steelers are one of those franchises that they'll never admit that they're just going to blow things up. They'll keep certain pieces to keep the fan base happy, but they will do certain things. Yeah. What do the Steelers do? What do the Steelers do well? They draft defense very well.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to lose Bud Dupree.
Unfortunate.
I think he's going to look great in that Giants uniform.
Ha!
Next year.
Love that.
That green though, oof, baby. Ooh.
Kelly Green.
He's gonna look better in any other uniform than that black and gold. But and I'm gonna tell you right now, this is something you guys are gonna say, oh, I drank too much tonight, and I haven't drank enough tonight.
This is why we're doing the shot takes early now, so that things get real wiggly.
Guess who's gonna be on Pittsburgh next year? Moses. Cam.
I don't know. You told me to guess.
Cam Newton is, listen to me. Tomlin. I'm sorry, Tom. I keep
LaDainian Tomlinson.
Tomlin is going to bring Cam Newton over to Pittsburgh as a 1 year. Prove it. He wants a guy who's a veteran. Listen, he's going to draft somebody. Maybe in the later round, and maybe they move up. Maybe they get the kid from BYU or something.
No fucking way.
He's not falling that far. I can.
Hey, I'm going to tell you right now.
I guarantee
everybody, make it an end of the year shot take because
all right,
put money on it that Pittsburgh might be able.
How much money? Because I'm putting money on it.
Listen, if it's not him, it's going to be somebody in the top 5 quarterbacks. They're going to get somebody. And I think that Tomlin's the kind of guy who's going to bring in somebody like Cam Newton. For some reason, I have a gut feeling.
All right.
Crazy.
All right.
I have a gut feeling. As far as the Steelers, it's going to be a couple years before they're relevant again. It really is. It's going to be a couple of years. It's going to be a couple of years.
Okay.
Because they're like Cox was just saying, they got a lot of key players that are free agents that are going to be out that door. And if they have to rebuild with a quarterback and they need pieces across that offensive line, they're going to need pieces across the defensive line. It's going to be a couple years before they're relevant again.
All right. I'll put a bow on this.
It wouldn't surprise me if I'm being honest, Mario.
No, it's not. It's not. Very few things you said that are shocking, other than that absolute nonsense that was Cam Newton being there.
Mark it down.
I'll mark it.
Patriots game this entire year, like just one.
He was nearly tied with me for touchdown passes, and I don't want to spoil things for you. I didn't play in the NFL this year.
I have no horse in the race. I just think that there's certain coaches out there that they think that they can make magic. I just think there's certain coaches out there that are like, just bring somebody to.
Okay.
Listen, the deal with the Patriots was they didn't have shit this year.
Nope.
They have nobody. They had no playmakers.
Edelman blew his knee out like in week 4 or something.
Name the playmakers that the Patriots had.
Demir Bird, bro, he's sick.
I heard he's the next fucking.
You mean the lawyer, Jacoby Myers?
You never heard Jacoby Myers?
No, that's been Jarvis Green Ellis. You're about a decade late on that. I understand that because you're a little more seasoned than the rest of us.
DT were juniors in high school when he.
But since I'm gonna not to be rude, I'm gonna take my time back for this. And say, yeah, there's no way they get rid of Mike Tomlin, because give me Mike Tomlin over maybe every coach except for like 3 in the league.
Yeah.
That man is the king of making chicken salad out of chicken shit. Last year's the case in point. He had no QB that entire year and really assembled something special. Do I think like what's going on with their cap is a little distressing? Yes, I think Bud Dupree especially is a huge piece that they're probably going to lose. If anything, this year proved they don't fucking need Juju. He's fine. Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson are much better prospects at this point.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of weapons, they're fine. And I think that will attract one of these free agent QBs. I love Cox's point about Jameis. I think there's a definite potential for a renaissance for Jameis there, because he's still like, what, 27-ish? Like there's
yeah, something like that.
There's a lot.
He's the same age as us, I think.
Yeah,
he's 27, 28, so he's still got years left.
There's a lot of tread left on those tires, and he was a 30-30 guy, so we get that, but let's not discount the 30 touchdowns. That's significant.
Yeah.
And he got that LASIK, which we really didn't get to see. We didn't really get to see what he could do with the new LASIK on the Saints. So and that black and yellow is pretty different than a lot of other uniforms out there. So I think he'll be able to identify who he's supposed to throw the ball to a little better over there. So I like that take. I even like if they're looking for a bridge guy, like this sounds cockamamie as opposed to what we just saw from Ben, but like even a little Fitz magic over in Pittsburgh, sprinkle some Fitz magic in there. He'd be great for that locker room. I can't think of like a better combo than Ryan Fitzpatrick and Mike Tomlin in a locker room for positive team growth. Like that's insanity. There's a lot of great guys out there. Stafford could be a factor.
I disagree because Fitzy was not a good locker room presence after he had that great year and then was sucking for us the year after. He has a very short, like, rah guy type a demeanor, and then once people start doubting him, he gets kind of pissy.
Well, you say that, but he was essentially deemed a closer for Miami this year and performed great in the role, and he didn't create any sort of bullshit there.
He pulled the same shit in Buffalo at the end of his tenure. He pulled the same shit at the Jets. He pulled the same shit with Tampa Bay.
He always loses his luster with teams. Like he starts off, they like him, and then somebody comes in and they're like, okay, have a seat.
No, and that's so what you guys are all forgetting.
He takes it as a personal attack, and then he lashes out on the organization.
I let you guys talk during your points all the time, and you never let me, and it really hurts my feelings.
Dude, you need to buy underwear that doesn't go up the crack of your ass.
You know, I'm working on it, but all they need is like 5 games out of the guy. Mike Tomlin won 8 games with Duck Hodgins and Mason Rudolph. Just like get a guy in there who can be a little bit of a glue guy, maybe make some stuff work. I love Jameis more in this scenario than I do anybody else. But like a Fitz wouldn't be terrible if Stafford somehow falls to them. I think he's Big Ben light at this point in his career, so I don't think. But if it's a bridge guy, there's still a lot of good stuff, and I love Matt Stafford as a football player, so I think he would be good there. There's a lot of like interesting people that could be there, but I think Jameis, Fitz, Stafford are probably the guys I would take there. Probably keep Mason Rudolph just because he's so familiar with the system, as like the guy who obviously Tomlin can coach up to win 8 games. The man, that's the other big thing that people are forgetting about Mike Tomlin. He has literally in 15 years never had a losing season as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So like, if it happens in year 15, they probably give him a little bit of wiggle room and leeway. But if he gets that right guy in the locker room, like I don't think they're like, they may fall off in terms of playoff contender for a couple of years, but like they're not going to be like the laughing stock of that division or of the league by any stretch, no matter what happens here, because they draft well defensively. Like you said, I think they'll get some dudes there. Their O-line, I don't know what their contract situations, but like Pouncey, Villanueva, they still have some fucking absolute guys there. And I'd be shocked if they all went by the wayside in the offseason. So there'll be a little bit of wiggle there. Connor's shown some stuff, but if not, Pittsburgh seemed...
He's not the answer.
No, but Pittsburgh's always been, other than like fucking Franco Harris and Jerome Bettis, they've been like stopgap RB NFL, Willie Parker, like all these fucking guys, if you go down the line that you're like, yo, they're good. And then they're like, nah, Le'Veon Bell maybe is an example. I don't know. Let me keep my hands away from that one. It's pretty volatile. But like, think about it. It's a big factor into these things. So I'll put a bow on this by saying, like, are the Steelers done as like a force to be reckoned with? Probably. But I don't think they're ever going to be like bottom 10.
No.
They'll at least be middle of the pack.
Absolutely not.
We'll see what happens with the cap.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
That organization won't allow culture.
Well, that's the thing. They've never been that organization.
That's fine to say,
No.
but look at New England this year. They're like a few points here and there.
Yeah, but Steelers has a longer history of not being that.
The Patriots aren't a bottom 10 team.
Well,
They're-
there are a few points here and there from being a bottom 10 team this year.
Right, but they're still not. That's the
Right.
point.
Yeah. But,
Well, my point,
From being 500.
but
my-
football, but football, like I
see, I don't give a fuck about the Patriots here.
No, it's not even the fact that I hate the Patriots. I'm just giving this as an example of like an organization that's been great for 20 years. Yes, there are a couple of points here or there from being over 500, but they're also it's like NFL football it could go either way, no matter what happens. Like no matter what year it is, the roster you have, it can go either fucking way. Like they easily could be. They could have been like a 5-11 team.
Yeah, I had 6 and 10.
And it's not out of the question for them to have done that, because some of those games they should have lost.
Arizona.
I'm going to disagree with you on some level. Like there are certain things that you can have in place from organization, from front office down to your kicker that allow you to not fall in that, much more so than like the Jets or the Browns were before now. Like organizationally from top to bottom.
Put your team in there too.
Yeah, the Buccaneers. Fine, I'll put them in there. But
I just think it's funny how we call
the bottom are built. They're a built organization.
We call it behind enemy lines, but Cox, I don't know. We might have a spy behind enemy lines.
Yeah.
When we talk about the Pats, you really perk.
You white knight them hard.
Really
And I don't.
But real quick, before we get off the subject of the Steelers, real quick, I want to apologize and Cox. I don't know why I was like must have been in fucking space. You were talking about Jameis Winston.
Yes.
For some reason, I thought you were talking about Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And I thought for some reason they were going to get him.
No.
And I was like, "There's no way." Listen, I was. Listen, that crack I had today was really, really. I apologize. Like for some reason, I was just like
Yeah.
on cloud 9. But yeah, oh, dude. Now that I think about it. That is somebody I did not think about.
It's a sick move.
Dude, kudos to you, because I didn't mean to like dismiss it the way I did, because I thought you were talking about Watson. No, he's not going anywhere. And I don't know why I thought that, but for some reason I thought that's who you were talking about. So apologies.
No.
Dude, that's a great point.
That's a hell of a point. That was really good.
That's like the old like Ken Stabler days. When
Yeah.
he beats it up and be like, "Hey, yo, run a go route. I'm gonna fucking."
Anybody who has not read the book by Kenny Stabler, The Snake,
Oh, I need to.
it is a must. It's a must read.
Yeah.
Must read.
Okay.
Man, those guys did a lot of good shit back then.
All I'll say to put a bow on it is I hate that fucking somebody here had to bring up the Patriots organization, because yeah, they've been doing whatever at a high level for 20 years, but they had the same core personnel. The Steelers have not been a bottom 10 team in the last 50 years, half a century in the NFL.
Super Bowl era.
Yeah. And it's because of the way they structure things. And I don't believe that that's going to change. Mike Tomlin's a top 3 head coach. I will fucking put my dick on the table about that right now. And they'll find a way to at least make that team competitive. 8-8, maybe 7-9. It'd be Mike Tomlin's first losing season as a 15-year head coach in the NFL. I'll give him one, and that's fine. Like, that's me being a real stingy fan here, giving him one.
Yeah, they're the best organization in the
They are. I got to respect them, even though they broke my heart in that fucking Super Bowl.
If I can make one point, and this, I feel like this is an important point.
We're at about 25 minutes on this subject, so make it fast.
I think that there are too many people, fans, pundits, media personnel, that they put too much eggs in the basket of tradition. They were always good. They're always going to be good. And that's not the fucking case. It just isn't. It's a league of parody, and I feel like every team, their time's coming.
That's more than fair generally, but for almost 100 fucking years, the Steelers have proved the opposite.
Not when it comes to Pittsburgh.
We'll see.
Yeah.
They different. They're not the Cowboys. They're the Steelers. And that's a direct jab at the Cowboys. The 90s was 30 years ago. Get the fuck over it.
They were also really good in the 70s, so I mean, I don't know.
We get it. Anyways.
Take control, DT.
Yeah, I'm fucking... So the next thing I have here is something I was very impressed with, and I have it as the headline here, is the Ravens are still riding high. Ravens played a hell of a football game on Sunday. They're continuing the momentum they had. That team is like... They got hot at the right time. They're gelling at the right time. I was impressed with their win. You don't have to tell me if you think they're going to win this week against the Bills or not, because that's obviously for the predictions portion. Yeah. But what I want is like your takes on this team. Like, how do you think this bodes? Maybe not necessarily for this year in their run, because we'll get into that when we talk about the predictions, but for that organization, kind of like we did with the Steelers here. Like, Ravens are riding high. Things are gelling after I thought... For me, that Patriots loss, for me, that was a nail in the coffin. I was like, fuck these guys. They're not good. It's not going to work. And I have eaten crow for like 6 weeks now. And I will take that. Like, they've proven me wrong, and that's okay. But what's your take on all this? Since we did a rotation last time, a lot of people talked a lot. So I'm not going to start the same way. Let's go to Ryan Cox first.
Okay. I think this momentum can get them to the Super Bowl. It can. There's something to be said when you have to play week in, week out to finish your regular season, pretty much playoff football. Like, if you lose one game, you're done. They've been doing this for weeks. Everyone else has only been doing it for like a week. They've been doing this for weeks, having to have this mentality of, we need to win this game. We can't think about anything else. And their defense is coming back alive. Their offense is really starting to like click. Lamar's running has been phenomenal these past few weeks, and they're able to throw when they have to. So all of those things, they're pretty much coming back to the form they were in last year before they met the Titans and lost. And then they just went and beat the Titans in Tennessee. So those kinds of things are huge for Lamar Jackson, because he had to be having some question. There had to be some questions of doubt, like or with him or within the organization. There had to be something. And then just from the head coaching, everything, like all of it, the whole organization has to be feeling really, really good about now, because they're coming back to that form that they were in last year when they, 14-2?
Yeah.
Like, this wave that they're riding could take them to a Super Bowl, and they could win it. They could. The biggest thing is if they do have to play Kansas, because as they've stated, that's their kryptonite. So can they beat them? That's the biggest question that remains.
Real quick, I would argue that's everybody in the AFC's question.
No, yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Completely agree. But I think with the narrative that's been developed between those two teams, it's a little bit more.
Yeah, it's spicy and interesting.
In KC, there's not really a narrative there. It's just all right. It's the Bills and Bills are pretty much Kansas City at this point. But the Ravens have acknowledged the fact that KC's their. Well, when you make that kind of acknowledgement, anytime you play them now and you don't win, we're going to talk about it. So, when Atlanta lost to KC, who cares? No shit. But when the Ravens lose to KC, that's a big deal. So that's still the big thing that they have. I feel like that's the last remaining hurdle. If they can do that, then they're going to be a Super Bowl contender pretty much every year. If they can kind of keep some semblance of that roster together. And this is why someone like Josh Allen is why they went out and like a Yannick Ngakoue. That's why they did that, to go be able to get to a mobile quarterback. And that's going to be a big thing this weekend is, can they contain Allen?
100%.
Yeah, but I think this way it can get them to a Super Bowl.
We'll get into that later, so I'm glad that you teased that. That's a good tease. You're doing great there.
It's a little teaser.
Yeah.
You like that?
Unc, how do you feel about the Ravens and this wave that they're still riding? I clearly didn't believe in it, but here we are.
First, I would love to say that I would love to play high stakes poker with Cox because he does not have a poker face. He tips his hand big time. But I will say, as far as the Ravens go, we're seeing Lamar Jackson coming out of his cocoon. We're seeing a guy who, with game after game, is gaining confidence. You see it. People were worried about he's a one-trick pony. He can run, but he's starting to be able to throw the ball when he wants. He's relying on Hollywood. Hollywood out there. He's his main guy, his stopgap. When he needs something, when he's scrambling and he's not going to be able to run, Hollywood's getting open for him, and it's actually a thing of beauty to watch. A lot of people didn't really think it was going to come to this, and I just think that the momentum is just listen, you put on here Ravens still riding high. Oh yeah, they're riding high. They're riding real high, and they deserved that win last week. They're playing at such a high level right now, and more than that, the defense is settling down. The defense was really, really spotty throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're starting to assert themselves, especially in the secondary and the back end.
Mm-hmm.
Guys are stepping up. So, are the Ravens riding high? Yeah, and I think they have the potential to go a lot further.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll get to my points in a bit, but Jay, let us know how you feel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to tell Mario. It's a dangerous thing when a team gets hot towards the end of the year, going into the playoffs. And you got 2 Super Bowls out of that.
Yeah. With a lot worse of a record too.
Yeah,
exactly. And to DT's point when he first brought this segment up is, yeah, I mean, I counted the Ravens out weeks ago.
Me too.
Maybe November, I was like, yeah, they're done. It's over, whatever. Yeah, I mean, Lamar, god damn, dude. We had it in the group chat this week. I was like, oh, Lamar sucks. And then he runs for 65-yard touchdown. I'm like, never mind. I stand corrected.
Yeah, I remember that.
And yeah, he can throw it when he needs to. I mean, is he ever going to be like a top 5 passing quarterback in the NFL? Probably not. Will he get enough done to get it done, if you will? Yeah. I mean, I think he's kind of silenced all of us at this point. Because I mean, even in the draft, I wasn't sold on Lamar at all because of the passing. I didn't think he could. I didn't think he could be NFL level passer as far as his decision making. I mean, he's got velocity up the ass, but his accuracy was kind of questionable. And like I said, he's proven us all wrong. I think it's gonna be interesting this weekend. I really do. But aside from that, the last 6 or 7 weeks have been insane. And you got to give credit to the coaching staff, number one, but also Lamar's he's showing up, man.
Yeah, 100%. He sure is. And I'll eat crow here too. I'll eat raven, I guess, to make it fit. The Ravens have been in this stretch run what I wish the Cardinals were. The Ravens are what I wanted the Cardinals to be. Every game is important. Win, keep the momentum going, and you can do it. And maybe with any luck, with another year's experience, just like Lamar just had, we have the same scenario next year. With any luck, that's what happens. But the Ravens, they've shown me a lot. And it's for all the reasons y'all are saying. It's not really much of a committee anymore. It's like Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins mostly. Mark Ingram, I don't know what the fuck happened to him. I love Mark Ingram. I hope. I'm fairly confident he still has something left in the tank. He had a career year last year. I just don't think his usage is there. I hope he finds a home where he can have a good twilight to his career, but the way things are schemed, it's probably not here. And the one thing I haven't heard anybody bring up, which is very, very important to me, is that my son, Mark Andrews, is on this team, and he's a top 5 tight end. He's truly, I mean, say what you want about the playoff game in Hollywood. Mark Andrews is truly Lamar Jackson's safety blanket. And he's the guy, if you need something from him, Mark Andrews is where he goes, and he produces, and he stepped up in that role so much. Lamar loves him as a target. And I think that's another big factor. They've started to click like we talked about, like they were last year during Jackson's MVP run until they ran into the Titans. And for me, it's a big statement that they beat the Titans in that fashion that they did. Because it was like Cox talked about, they want their lunch money back. They want their bike back. Yeah. After what happened last year. And it's exactly what happened. And I think that's compelling for the Ravens, but it's also compelling for the Titans and for the league as a whole. That's turning into something. And that could be a lot of fun down the line, depending on how these teams shake out. There's a huge X factor to, I think, the continued success of the Ravens. So I will bring that up when we talk about X factors in our team picks. But the Ravens absolutely have everything in the arsenal to make a run here. And I'm excited to see what happens. That Bills-Ravens game might be my game of the week. There's a real chance.
A lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Any other thoughts about the Ravens before we move on?
No.
Lovely stuff. That was very succinct and tight, boys. I love it. Last thing I want to talk about with the games last week is that the Rams, in what I think everybody would regard as an upset, beat the Seahawks. That has crazy implications, I feel like, for that NFC bracket as a whole, and maybe even for that division and going forward. There's a lot to be said for what happened in the game, because it was a 10-point win.
Yeah.
It was close, I guess, in the biblical sense, but it's a 10-point game with John Wolford as your quarterback. There's a lot that can be extracted there. And since I've been so cruel and not gone to him first once yet, I'm going to ask Uncle Mario for his thoughts first.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
I'm a kind host, if anything.
Listen, I really wasn't surprised. I had the Rams, and the reason I had the Rams was because the Seahawks have really just been underwhelming all year. They get by. They haven't really... Listen, if you stop Metcalf, you really... The two key factors playing the Seahawks is if you can get pressure on Wilson, and then you can shut down Metcalf, then you have a great chance of beating them. And that's what teams have been doing lately. So I really wasn't surprised by the game, because I knew that the Rams defense was going to show up. We didn't know what Goff was going to be. We didn't know his I think it was his thumb, right? His thumb.
Yeah. Yep.
His thumb was going to hold up. And to me, once you started seeing they were getting pressure on him, I felt really good about my pick, because I just knew that they weren't going to do it. I know it was a 10-point game, and okay, you want to save it close, but it really wasn't as close as the score would.
That's what I said when I let in, but okay.
All right. Did one of those fucking anal poppers explode in your ass just now?
I cannot disclose that in mixed company.
Okay.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
You cannot confirm or deny. You just love fucking with me, dude.
I sure do.
I swear to God, I'm gonna get
The other thing, if we're doing this and I'm fucking with you, I don't think 2 touchdowns is containing DK Metcalf, but otherwise you make salient points.
Well, if he's the only guy doing something, but like, okay, he got 2 touchdowns, but did he wreck the game? No, he didn't wreck the game. He didn't wreck the game. Okay.
He didn't do what Stephon Diggs did to like the Pats, I guess is what Mario's saying.
No, that's fair.
Stephon Diggs like single-handedly won that game.
Yeah, I mean,
and won me a fantasy championship.
I don't have the stats in front of me, but he had 2 touchdowns. But how many yards?
96.
96. Okay. All right. That's not terrible, but it's not like, you know, he broke the top off the defense.
As his argument falls apart.
Barrett, I got your back, bro.
That's okay. I can handle these guys, especially him on the there, Coxie, because your team is doomed this week. They're done.
We'll talk about it. Can continue with the Seahawks and the Rams, please.
By the Seahawks, Rams. I think the Rams are trending, and the Seahawks they have a lot of things to work on in the offseason. They have trouble. They have troubles across that offensive line, big time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but they have guys like Metcalf. They have guys like, you know, their other wide receiver.
Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, Lockett. They have good players, but they need some help across that offensive line if they can do it. And like we've been preaching this all year about offensive line. If you have an offensive line, it can really help with some of the deficiencies. And you're starting to see Wilson having to scramble a lot more than he would like to because that offensive line is not as strong. So I really wasn't surprised. But I think the Rams are trending. I give them a good shot.
Fair enough. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm really happy that the Seahawks lost. That's a better pick for me for that fucking Jamal trade.
Yeah.
I think I'll just say this right now. One of my favorite videos of the entire NFL season was watching Jalen Ramsey go, "Oh, they can have their T-shirts and their cigars," because Jamal Adams the week before was smoking a cigar with his T-shirt on and everything.
Yeah,
we're the champs, and then they beat him in the playoffs the next week, which is fucking great. Fuck Jamal Adams. But as far as the game itself, am I shocked? No, I'm not shocked. I thought the Seahawks would win. I really did. Just because, you know, Russell Wilson's a fucking freak of nature when it comes to the quarterback position. But that Rams defense, nothing to fuck with, man.
They're like Wu-Tang Clan in that way.
It's been like all year they've been fucking phenomenal, you know. And what really came down to was that Russell Wilson pick towards the end there. That one back-breaking pick really fucked the Seahawks, and you know you got to credit the Rams D with that. I don't think they win this week, and we'll get into that later. But yeah, no, I think that win is solely on the Rams D. I don't think the offense did enough.
Fair.
Goff did enough to not like fuck it up. So yeah, I guess that's my synopsis.
Fair, Coxey.
Yeah, I'm not super shocked. I mean, I also picked Seattle to win the game, but I thought it would be a super close game. Two teams typically play each other pretty close. I'm a little shocked at how well they stopped Russell Wilson, because for a large majority of that game, they pretty much stopped him from doing much of anything. But the narrative that I find most interesting is the aftermath and where Seattle goes from here. Because I think we're starting to see a divide between where Pete Carroll wants to take the organization and where Russell Wilson wants to take the organization.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to Matt Sims a couple days ago, and was talking about how Seattle was actively considering trading Russell Wilson to the Cleveland Browns to get that number 1 pick and take Baker Mayfield. They were actively considering that. And I think, I forget the GM's name, but I think that GM in Seattle really wants to go back to the days of having a good QB on a rookie deal and go back to the Legion of Boom and build defense first, a running based offense with an offensive line, and a quarterback that's on a rookie deal. And when they went to the Super Bowl, that's what they had. That's what they were. And I think he wants to get back to that. And I'm interested to see what they do at the offensive coordinator position, because that's going to tell you who wins that duel. Is it going to be more of the Russell Wilson wanting to showcase his talents, or is it going to be Pete Carroll wanting to run the ball more? Because Pete Carroll has stated since the game that they need to run the ball more, and that's fine. I think they were averaging 4.8 yards per carry, so I get them wanting to run. But you have Russell Wilson who's going to want to throw the ball. He's going to want to showcase his talents. So I think you're going to start to see a divide there. I'm very interested.
Yeah.
But with this game, no, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and it's not... Anybody in the NFC West can beat anybody in the NFC West on any given Sunday, and I think that's the beauty of that division and why I love and hate being there myself. Given what happened, McVay does what McVay does, and he beat the older coach. I'm not surprised. That defense is incredible, and it has been under McVay this whole time. I think you make a very important point about which way is the Seahawks franchise going to go. And it's, do you go with the oldest head coach in the league or the now going to be 33-year-old franchise quarterback? Russell Wilson's not getting any younger. Pete Carroll absolutely is not getting any younger. So where do you hitch your wagon? They're in a very difficult position when it comes to that. And I think that's a point that not a lot of people would make. So I'm happy you made it. But in terms of, what this means for them going forward, I can't be sure. I think the moves this offseason and in the draft will be the best indicators that we see this year on what they do. Because in that division, if they can generally keep things, I don't know who's in contract years for Seattle or anything or how that looks like, but if they can keep that core intact, they're going to compete in that division, because they've become, the last 7 to 10 years, the foremost team in that division. Call a spade a spade. It's been impressive. So if they can keep that core, they're going to contend. The Rams, I think, are constantly on the come up with their young coach. He schemes incredibly well. That defense is great. And a lot of those pieces are still crazy young. I think the Rams are here to stay in that division, and that creates a huge barrier for entry for any of these other teams, whether it's the Cards, the Niners, the Seahawks, whoever. So again, I'm not shocked by the result. I did think, like everybody else except for Mario here, I thought the Seahawks were going to win the game, but I'm not overly shocked that the Rams did what they did, because they were a Super Bowl team very, very recently. So it's almost a disrespect to them to think that they wouldn't have the capability to do this. I think this is more indicative to the Seahawks future than it is the Rams future. And I'm very curious to see how that goes. But the game itself was almost what you would expect out of those teams. I mean, it was a little weird in some aspects with the Wolford-Goff fiasco and what went on there. Is he actually healthy enough to play? Why did he play so many snaps if he was okay? Why didn't he start the game? All these other things. But that remains to be seen going forward, and we'll see what they do this week. But they got the job done, and that's basically been Sean McVay's MO. Get the job done, score on us if you can, and we'll do enough to make sure that we have the higher number on the scoreboard at the end of the game. That's really been their thing. They've had some head scratchers like we've talked about. I think it's directly related to the way that offense operates. We know how that defense operates, and it's one of the best in the league. They'll let up maybe, 15, maybe 20 if you're feeling crazy. And if the offense can't keep up, just score more points than we allow. Like, that sounds dumb to say, but that's basically the pyramid scheme that McVay has built. Like, we're going to stop them for the majority of the fucking game. So it's on the O to make sure that number's greater at the end, because they'll do the work for you. And I commend him greatly for that. And I hate that I have to deal with this for at least the next 10 years, if not more.
I thought the starting Wolford and then bringing in Goff, I thought McVay, that was very Belichickian.
Yeah.
It was almost
It's like, you fucking with me?
let's keep the Seahawks thinking that he's not going to play and let them game plan. And then we bring him in and we have something that, they're just not ready for.
Didn't Goff come in because Wolford got
rocked? Yeah.
Destroyed by Jamal Adams.
Went to the hospital.
Yeah.
Did he?
He went to the hospital. He got fucking wrecked by Jamal Adams.
So I stand corrected. But I just thought he was ready to go. I was surprised. At that point, we didn't know that Wolford was hurt.
Yeah.
He got fucked up.
He got rocked. It was pretty. But no, I think good on the Rams.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely not counting them out. We'll get to it when we get to picks, but good on the Rams. Seahawks, I think, have a lot of question marks that Cox brought up, and it's going to be very interesting, and all will become clear in the next handful of months with them what direction they're going to go. And I'm not on the edge of my seat because there's a lot of other shit going on, but I have a vested interest being a member of that division to see what happens.
I'm firmly seated, but I'm not on the edge yet.
Not yet. Any other thoughts about this game before we move on to predictions, picks, takes, all that other stuff?
Nah, I think we're good.
But real fast. Cox, you brought up a good point about Wilson, about them trying to trade him. Not last year, but the year before that, there was also rumors that before they gave him the contract that they were trying to shop him. They were trying to ship him out. So I think where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a very, very good point.
That's fair.
So we're going to predictions, and for the first time in podcast history, there are 4 games, and I don't want to fuck anybody up real bad. There are 4 of us. So each game's going to get a wee bit of a deep dive here, and I feel like out of respect, the right thing to do is to start with the one man whose team is in one of these games. So Cox, the floor is yours for the Bucks and the Saints. I know you're going to get on a bit of a soapbox. I have to powder my nose, but I am very engaged in this.
Okay.
Floor is yours.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
So I wanna start with a narrative that I heard on New England Sports Radio.
Oh God.
For the whole
New England
week.
Sports Radio.
Well, I know, and I just want to ask. I just want to ask you guys. I just want to ask you guys what you think. So they've made it very clear that they think if Tom Brady and the Buccaneers lose this game, that this is an epic failure for not just Brady, but also for the organization. It's an epic failure.
No.
Do you agree?
I don't at all.
I don't.
No.
I don't think it's a failure.
Okay. Thank you. Because I look at the Bucks, and we'll ask you when he gets back. I look at why they brought Brady to Tampa, and one was to just be relevant because they haven't been forever.
You want a playoff game?
Just to get to the dance, and dance was huge, but to win a playoff game was also huge. But the other factor was to bring a winning culture to that team again, because they haven't had it since Gruden was there. And you can argue that Gruden wasn't the one who brought it there. I would. It was Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy brought a winning culture.
But dude, do you know how difficult it is to bring in all the pieces, different pieces,
right,
and a quarterback that's got to learn your system,
right,
in a COVID year without a preseason.
Thank you.
Without a preseason.
Yeah.
That's huge. So it just shows, listen, I'm not a big Bucks fan, but it just shows you got the right guy in your coach. You got the right guy who knows how to bring things together. So go ahead. I'm following. I'm right there with you.
Preaching. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Cox is making us face, and not the quest touchdowns on the screen.
D, so I asked them, the narrative that sports talk radio in New England has pervaded this week is if Tom Brady and the Bucs lose this game, that it's an epic fail, not just for Brady, but also the organization. It's an epic failure. Do you agree with that?
I wouldn't go with epic. I think it's a fail because they're in win now mode. I don't think they have a huge timeline to get to the success that they're hoping for with this roster. Vis-a-vis, this is like Chris Godwin's contract year, I believe. Brady's literally about to carbon date himself back to the Stone Age. There's a lot of things going on there where I wouldn't call it a colossal failure. It'd be a disappointment, but the fact that they're doing this well is important for the organization as a whole.
Thank you. Okay, so that was my thing. Was the two reasons you brought in here were to get to the dance and win a playoff game is a bonus, but just to get to the dance, I was happy with just getting to the dance. I haven't been to the dance in forever.
Yep.
So and to create a culture of winning, to change the culture in that organization, which he and Bruce Arians and Brian Leftwich and Todd Bowles have done. They've all collectively come together and done that. For that team, who a lot of those guys have been there for a few years now and have just watched the team suck or get close like last year and have their quarterback basically suck the life out of them because he just throws interceptions at the worst possible moment.
He sure does.
to have them get to the playoffs and win a game in which they did not play their best ball. We can all agree Tampa did not play their best ball last week at all. Their defense was a bit shaky. Chris Godwin was dropping balls left and right. I don't know what the hell was up with that.
That was weird.
I don't know if his fingers still bothered. I don't know if there was like a flare up.
Maybe it was the moment.
Maybe. I don't know. But the fact that they got through that is huge. And it's the same thing with the Cleveland Browns. That win is huge for them as a team and an organization. It's the same with the Bucs with this.
Same with the Bills, just to throw it out there.
Also, absolutely. And Mario was talking about it. The fact that Brady's come in here, not knowing anyone on this offense, not knowing this is a completely different system, and having to merge a Bruce Arians post-read offense and Tom Brady's pre-snap offense, or I'm sorry, post-snap and pre-snap, to merge those together. And we've seen that ever since the bye week. And I really think the bye week is when they both sat down and were like, okay, we have to figure this out, because if we don't, we're either not making the playoffs or we'll get there and lose immediately. So, and we've seen that. Some of the things I was saying very early on with this, you have to keep a tight end. You have to keep an extra tight end into block. And you saw that against Washington. Rob Gronkowski had multiple plays where he was actually able to do enough with Chase Young and block him on the edge to give Brady just enough time. And I believe you actually saw that with that throw to Antonio Brown for the touchdown. He just get just enough so Brady can make the play. That's all you got to do. Brady doesn't need 5 seconds. He needs 3 at most.
And real quick, I would argue Gronk is the only tight end in the league who could hold Chase Young back for just that amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just in terms of a big body wise.
It's one up. So we're really starting to see this offense click. And I don't think if Tampa Bay loses this week, I do not think it's going to be on their offense at all. It will be their defense, because you can throw on this defense. You can. You can't run on them. There's no running on this defense. But you can throw on them. You can pick them apart. And we saw this. For some reason, Todd Bowles went with more zone reads in the first couple of games.
Told you.
And I don't think I think they're going to get away from that.
Todd Bowles loves zone reads.
I think what you're going to see, you're going to see a good mixture.
I also know that, by the way. Remember, don't you forget, Jason.
I think you're going to see something where Devin White kind of almost plays like a QB spy, like mid zone, and then you just have Winfield play deep zone safety. And you're kind of have to play it that way, but a lot of other man coverage going on. But you're going to kind of have to disguise your looks with Drew Brees. Drew Brees can't really throw it deep anymore. He's going to pick you apart methodically, almost like what Brady did in New England. That's kind of where he's at in his career. So defensively, they're going to have to figure that out. Now, it's nice that they have both Jamal Dean and they have Carlton Davis fully healthy. Levante David's back. This team, defensively, if they can make enough stops, they're good. It's going to be a very bend, don't break kind of game for them defensively. That's how it's just going to have to be.
Yep.
But if they can make enough stops, they can win this game. Because offensively, they're not going to put up 3 points. It's not happening. This offense is clicking too good now, and their protection of Brady is much better. If we played Washington in Week 4, they would have sacked Brady 8 times, absolutely. But the protection and blitz pickup schemes are way better now. The offense is finally clicking. And I think in this game, the big X factor is Antonio Brown. We're really starting to see that chemistry. And it's not always like, 6, 7, 8 catches, 3 catches, 4 catches, but it's for like 80 yards and like a touchdown. And I think he's going to have a huge game. And my shot take for the week is going to be 5 catches, 120 yards, and a touchdown for Antonio Brown this week.
Wow.
That's a shot take for me.
That's a take.
Brown, he's a huge X factor in this game, and I have to take them because as a fan I have to believe, and I'm going to take the.
Finally, somebody else believes in their team in a key game. I'm looking at the coward Benedict Arnold, that is Mario Soto here, not taking his own fucking team in a win that they're in. Lost a lot of points with me there, Buster.
That's just because I'm I'm so superstitious. I try to go against them and thinking they're gonna win, and it happens all the time.
I don't want to fucking hear it. I'm a goddamn Jets fan, so
you get me. You get me, Jay.
Oh my god.
My shot take is Antonio Brown is on COVID watch because he went to a strip club the night before fucking playoffs.
So here's the thing.
If that happens, I will.
No, the reason why I think he's the X factor on top of just the connection is because he knows that if he fucks up, like he hasn't done a single thing since he's joined that organization.
Well, he did some grapes before that, so maybe.
But I'm saying since he joined the organization, but it's because he knows that if someone like Tom Brady trusts him, vouches for him, and gives him a chance, basically begs the organization to sign him, and he fucks that up, he's not getting another shot anywhere. He's done.
So you're saying the Bucks have a chance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a huge thing for Antonio Brown and Tom Brady's relationship. Look at what happened in Week 17, and him specifically with Bruce Arians and Leftwich. They specifically were like, "Oh, Antonio Brown needs this to get his $250,000 incentive. Let's go get it for him." And they've been very open with that with all of their players. If you need something incentive-wise to get more contract, let's go fucking get it. And I think that has brought this team together, and they are going to win this game potentially on like a last-minute drive. And it's going to be a 30-28 Buccaneers go into the Superdome and beat the New Orleans Saints 30-28.
Finally a score. Nice.
Love that.
I got some take.
Yazzie, I'm going to go to you next. Give me your analysis, your X factor, and your score.
First of all, I wish nothing but ill will on Antonio Brown. I think he's a piece of human garbage.
He's a shitty human being.
He shouldn't be playing. He shouldn't be playing in the NFL. Period. Right now.
Well, neither should Tyreek Hill or name a myriad of other people.
I was just gonna say Tyreek Hill. So I hope nothing but ill will on it. I love you, Cox. I hope the Bucks win. Wish nothing but ill will on Mr. Antonio Brown. He's a piece of shit. Tom Brady's infatuation with him is the oddest thing in the world to me.
Well, he's also a Trump supporter, so that tells you all you need to know.
There you go.
Tom Brady's not known for his off the field judgment.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, Tom Brady has protected players that shouldn't be protected. But all that aside, as far as this game's concerned, the Saints are winning this one, in my opinion. I know you think that they can't run against the Tampa Bay D. Did last time I checked, Alvin Kamara exists.
Yeah, but he's a pass catching back. He's not going to. He catches passes.
Didn't he run?
He does it both.
He ran for quite a few yards this year.
This year, all right.
Anyway, give me. I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a high-scoring close game. I think Brady and Breeze are going to duel it out. My thing for me is I want to see Breeze have his last ride. No offense to you, Cox, just because I despise Tom Brady as a human being.
He's going to come back next year. So,
you think Breeze come back next year?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's up. Well, I mean, I could see it coming, but I think it's kind of like 50-50 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to see Breeze get like one last fucking Super Bowl. I think that would be great because I do like Breeze a lot. For this game, like I said, I think it's gonna be high scoring. I think it's gonna be it'll be like a 38-35 affair here. And I honestly, I'll say that score. And I won't give a team just because I don't really know which team is going to come.
Are you hard pushing? Are you giving a hard push for the first time in predictions?
Really, Jay? Really?
Are you giving a push for the first time in predictions?
Wow.
If like gun to my head, if I have to pick a team.
Well, you can hard push, but it's not going to count. If whatever team wins, it's not going to count.
All right. Everybody stop fucking...
Reach down and open your legs a little bit and feel in there. If you can feel something in there, lift it up.
Oh, there's one and there's the other. Okay.
There you go.
Oh, man. Gun to my head, if I had to pick one. I got to go with Brady. I mean, he pulls it out.
All right.
For 20 goddamn years, I've seen this guy just pull out games he shouldn't win. So I'm going to give me Bucks, like I said, 38-35.
So just real quick, if you had to guess between the two games, how many rushing yards Alvin Kamara had combined, what would you guess?
You have to say that again. You kind of cut out.
For Alvin Kamara, for the two games they played the Bucks in the regular season, combined, how many rushing yards do you think he had?
120.
You're way off. 56.
Okay.
56. You don't rush on Tampa Bay. You don't.
All right.
Mario.
Well, that was sad just watching Jason as a Jets fan go through his PTSD Tom Brady right there.
Yeah, that was the entire 5 stages of grief, and he ended on acceptance.
I'm retreating to my safe space. That's my safe space.
He ended on acceptance.
This game is so intriguing because they played each other already twice. Like I was saying earlier to you guys before we started, it reminds me of when the Giants played the Eagles in the playoff days, where we would play the Eagles, we would split, or we would beat them twice, or they would beat us twice, but we would still face them in the championship game. And it's really hard to game plan because they've seen it. You've seen them, they see you. There's really not going to be a lot of surprises tomorrow. Or what? Tomorrow's game, right? It's tomorrow.
Sunday at 6:40.
So it's not going to be a lot of surprises. So to me, it's going to be a close game. To me, I think the Saints pull it out, and I'm sorry, Cox, because I want you to have that. I want you to have that euphoria. To me, I hate the fucking coach for the Saints. I can't
Sean Payton.
Payton.
Yeah,
I hate Payton. He's a classless piece of shit. He actually used to be the offensive coordinator for the Giants back in with Tom Coughlin. And I liked him back then, but he's proven himself to be, he's just, I don't know, there's something about him that's just classless. But somebody who's not classless, and that's Drew Brees. And he's the X factor.
I do like me some Drew Brees.
He's going to be the X factor in this game. And Drew Brees is going to throw. My shot take is going to be Drew Brees throws for 3 TDs. And Alvin Kamara rushes for 1 TD.
All right.
So, and I'm going to, my score I have written down here is going to be Saints 31-28. That's how close it's going to be.
Love it. Love it.
28.
Absolutely love it. Jay, what was your X factor for this game? Did I miss that?
Oh, I didn't actually pick one. X factor for this game is going to be Drew Brees. Does he still have it? Does he not have it?
Gotcha. All right.
Old man Brees. Let's see what he's got.
Old man River. Love it. This is, again, a great game. Hell of a game. We've seen this twice already in the season, so there's a lot of history, I guess, both in the franchises, but also within the season that are going on here. I think the big thing with this that we talked about, everybody's covered everything that's been very relevant and important in this game. Is I think it was that first game, the Saints absolutely fucking destroyed the Bucks.
Are you talking about the 38?
It was the second game.
That was the second.
Oh, that was the second game? I don't remember the first game.
38-3. The first game was 23-34.
Who won that? Who won the first game?
Saints.
The Saints. Saints won both games.
All right. So that helps strengthen my point that I don't think the Saints drop one when it's important here. That's not what they do. They drop the NFC Championship games. That's the one they drop. That's what they're known for. They don't drop this one. My big X factor, though, I feel like I've done my X factors at least for half these games slightly differently than you guys. My X factors more are if something like this happens and the X factor performs, then the game can flip. So my X factor in this game is Ronald Jones. If they can establish a heavy run on that Saints defense.
He's not starting.
Oh, is he not? Is it Leonard Fournette then?
Leonard Fournette is.
Give me whoever the RB1 is, Leonard Fournette.
Okay.
Honestly, that's even spicier, and I like that better. Because if Leonard Fournette,
good last week.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he can show in this playoff scenario that he can get a run game going for the Bucks, then this game could flip. If that brings everybody in closer to have Brady go more over the top, that's huge for the Bucks.
I agree.
So whoever it was, I said Ronald Jones because I assumed he played, but I guess more generally my X factor is the Buccaneers run game. If they can establish a solid run here, the Saints are going to have a lot tougher time, and that game may flip to what I think it is. I'm going to take 38-35 like Jay's score, but I think it is Will Lutz at the end. Will Lutz doing Will Lutz things at the end. And doing the thing so that they inevitably lose in the NFC Championship, because that's truly how I feel that this is going to happen. That's what they do. And the air quote Cinderella story is over for the Bucks. My X factor is the running game for the Bucks, and that could very well, if that is running on all cylinders, the Bucks will win this game. But if it's not, and the Saints continue to do Saint things, I generally agree with what Mario said about Sean Payton. I'd love Breeze to get another one, and I hold out the sliver of hope that happens and he can retire on top by winning this game. Tom's been there. He's done that. I don't really fucking care for him to have a long playoff run. So part of that's
it's over.
Part of that's my personal bias where I'm fucking any additional week Tom Brady is in the playoffs. It actually greatly increases my likelihood of self-harm, and that's been a thing in the past, and I don't want that. So for my own...
Are you kidding me? I watched 20 years of this asshole destroying my team.
Hey, we've watched the same amount of football, and we both hate the Patriots enough. It doesn't always have to be about you. You do this every week. Oh, buddy, but do you think like the Jets are a thing and they play football occasionally?
Did the Cardinals play the AFC East?
I've had some real fucking field goal heartbreak games the last 5 years against these motherfuckers. So...
2 times a year.
Jay, what was your...
Well, you have it 2 times a year, but at least your games aren't close. I've lost close games to the Patriots.
What was your score?
Most of the games against the Jets are close. Most of them.
This is moot. This is a moot point.
In the last 20 years.
This is a moot point. I love that you're sad about the Jets, Jay. That's all you ever are. Find a new fucking thing as your gimmick.
It's sad.
Saints win the game. 38-35. let's move on.
38 what?
38-35.
I'm personally hurt.
Jay, what was your score on this one?
It was 30-35 Bucks.
Yeah, he had the same score as me, but flipped. I think Will Lutz wins it at the end. Jay, since I was just so rude to you, I'll let you take Bills Ravens next.
There we go.
Bills Ravens.
Here we go.
Nice. Kiss and make up, guys.
Aww.
Anyway, yes, Bills Ravens.
I gotta go throw up real quick.
That's fine.
This is my game of the week. This is the game. This is the game. I mean, we're all in agreement there, right? This is the game.
No,
I think so.
I think it's
Not for Cox, but
not for Cox. I mean, if the Jets are in the playoffs, I'd say no. Obviously,
This is my number
our
2.
own teams, yeah, of course.
but for the fan that doesn't have a team in the playoffs, this is the game of the week. That being said, the Bills are not good at stopping the run. Guess what the Ravens do? They run, and they run, and they run, and they run. And that might, I mean, the X factor here. This is not a hot take. It's Lamar Jackson. That's the X factor here. I mean, you got to stop him. And I know there are reports this week of the Bills defense players saying we got a great plan to stop Lamar Jackson. I'm like, yeah, every team has a great plan to stop Lamar Jackson until Lamar Jackson does his thing. The guy can run his ass off. And like we said earlier, like I'm not earlier this season, me and DT were both like, I just don't see the Ravens even making the playoffs. But god damn, the run they've been on the last 6 or 7 weeks, you got to respect it. You know. The other X factor here is the Ravens linebackers can't cover for shit. So Cole Beasley's going to have a big ass game. He's going to have a big game. I think Josh Allen's going to just fucking light it up. I think this is going to be high scoring as hell. It's going to be, does Wink, the defensive coordinator for the Ravens, does he have a game plan for Josh Allen or not? For those slot receivers, for those concepts in which Daboll is fucking famous for, in which they just confuse the hell out of the defensive backs, in which one goes this way, one goes that way, and then Josh Allen just hits it because the guy's got a fucking cannon.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to guess on this one, I'm gonna go with the Ravens run game against the Bills D over Josh Allen beating Wink.
Gotcha. So you named like multiple X factors there. So can you give me like one so that I just know?
Stop breaking the rules.
No, it's fine. I just want to know, like, in my head.
I'm in behind enemy lines jail now. No, I guess the one X factor would be, it's Lamar Jackson. He's the X factor. If he's able to run all day, the Ravens win this easily.
Score?
This is gonna be a tough one. Give me 28-24 Ravens.
Wow.
Okay. Mario, you can go next.
I just think the Ravens are clicking. I mean, I listen to a lot of New York sports radio, and there's a lot of scared Buffalo fans out there. They're so nervous right now, and truthfully, I could care less. I mean, if Buffalo wins, great. If the Ravens win, I don't care either. But I just think the Ravens are clicking right now. I just think the Ravens win the game. I think Lamar is the X factor. I think him being able to establish the run, his running style and his run, I think opens up more things for. So Lamar is the X factor, but I think the fact that he's able to run makes them more. They bring a safety up, or they bring, 2 safeties up, and he's able to hit Hollywood. I think it just opens up the whole game plan. So you're going to see early on in the game, if Lamar's getting success and he's running, it's going to be a long day for Buffalo on defense. I like what Jay said about Beasley, because I think he's that. I fucking hated him when he was with the Cowboys. Oh my God. I had nightmares about him. You would watch him play, and you would see him, and you would be like, will somebody hit that fucking little piece of shit and knock him out of the fucking game?
Mm-hmm.
But I think he'll have some success. I don't think it's going to be enough. So give me the Ravens 24-17.
All right. I like that. Ryan.
I wonder.
I mean, have you seen my boyfriend? My boyfriend.
He did not play great last week.
Disagree.
He played pretty well.
He played
actually.
pretty
He did, but he did. It wasn't as good. It wasn't as good as
he carried them when they needed him to make. He made plays. I mean, like to end the first half, when he's just throwing
I love hyping him up.
lasers to Gabriel Davis, and the amount and let's be real, Gabriel Davis did an amazing job getting this. Some of those calls could have gone either way, but they were amazing. I'm going to take Josh Allen as my X factor, but another X factor could be the weather in Buffalo.
Yeah,
there's moisture there now. It's not supposed to be snowing or raining, but it's Buffalo. It can fucking snow whenever the fuck it wants.
Oh, I know.
So,
me and DC know.
I know you two know. So if that field gets slick and the Ravens cannot run the way that they want to run the ball, well then it's over. Then it's Buffalo all day.
Yeah, but they don't run an option offense. I feel like running it would be more in their favor on that. But
the way they run with speed and like Lamar runs to the side, like things like that, things like that's going to cause them problems if the field's really, really slick. It's going to cause them a bit of a. If you're doing like a power running game, then yes, that's not really a huge deal because it's just running up. But when you're running side to side and having to cut and stuff like that, it's a little different.
That's fair.
Unfortunately for the Bills, I did look into that and I did other for the game.
I did too. Yeah,
it's not supposed to snow, but
no.
If it does, yeah, it's a big X factor.
Right.
It is.
But I still think Josh Allen is the X factor here because that team is going to go as far as Josh Allen takes them because they can't stop the run. Defensively, they can't. Now, is it going to be a little different given the fact that how hard are the Bills defense going to sell on the run? Because if they sell completely to stop the run and basically just say, okay, then beat us with your arm, that I'm interested. I would be very interested to see if they basically tell, beat us with your arm. That would be fun to watch. But we know Josh Allen can 100% beat them. 100%. And like you said, those linebackers can't cover. Cole Beasley will have a day. Will have an absolute field day. And I don't care how good your corner is. Stephon Diggs is probably going to still have a day. Because Stephon Diggs is Stephon Diggs this year. You don't give a fuck.
Yep.
So that passing attack, you know what? Let's do another shot take. Let's do another one.
Strap it in.
Fuck it. Josh Allen has 350 passing yards with 3 throwing touchdowns. How about that? How about one of those?
That's spice. That's spice.
Like
I'll take my shot take is he has under that.
Okay.
It's dependent on you.
I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take it. I think they're gonna.
My shot take will be he has exactly that. No.
Like the prize is right. Can I bid $1?
$1.
$1.
1 yard.
I'm gonna bid.
I just think Josh Allen has magic. He just there's something magical happening.
Jesus Christ, dude!
Oh my God! Like it's just I love him. Like
I'm surprised you're not coughing and choking yet. How deep he is in you.
And this is where we need editing. This is where we need editing. You just hit a button and it's just music.
Ryan Cox is describing Josh Allen fellatio over the top.
That man ever
and you
goes
see Cox smoking a cigarette.
Oh.
It's just like hearts around him. Like,
yeah. Oh. You done? Are you done? Are you quite finished?
Please make him done.
Give me the Bills 37.
37-30.
37 what?
37-30.
What is your obsession with Josh Allen? Jesus fucking Christ.
He's good. He's playing well.
He's fine. He's fine.
If I may, friends, if I may,
DT, please.
I'm going to go next. If you can all calm your hormones enough. This is, again, the game of the week. I think it's bar none. The Ravens are incredibly hot right now, and the Bills weirdly have been hot all year in a lot of ways. What this comes down to for me, I will narrow it down to one X factor if you want, but I have two X factors because they were not mentioned, and they're for each opposite team.
Bring it.
I think the X factor for the Ravens is their big three pass rushers: Calais Campbell, Matt Judon, and Yannick Ngakoue.
Judon, baby.
If they can get to Josh Allen and make this day real fucking difficult, those boys, other than maybe Cole Beasley, who runs the short stuff, aren't going to be able to do these big dynamic things that offense is known for and what they've been doing. So I said a lot of my X factors are things that could flip the game away from the way I was thinking, and this is one of them. Because deep down, I'll spoil it right now, I have the Bills here. But if that pass rush does what that pass rush has the high-end potential to do, this game goes to the Ravens. And it comes down to those three pass rushers and getting pressure on Josh Allen and making that life difficult. On the flip side, my X factor is one former Arizona Cardinal great, John Brown, running verts down the field and making dynamic plays for that team. Let's not forget, he's been hurt a lot of the year. Man received for over 1,000 yards last year for this Buffalo Bills defense. He's been a piece that they've sorely missed that has come back late down the stretch here. I think people are sleeping on John Brown as an X factor here. I think if Josh Allen can take that absolute fucking cannon he has attached to his right arm and throw it deep to that guy who's just running past everybody, this game could get really ugly and really weird real quick. So I have X factors for both teams. I can't. Oh yeah, you're big mad because your team's bad. I get it. You're in the AFC East. I get it. Like, it's fine.
I'm sorry. Did you make the playoffs?
You didn't. Neither did yours. But I think those are the two major X factors. With that being said, my other major thing is the Bills have beaten down this stretch run much better defenses than the Ravens.
It's true.
They put a 50 burger on the no-name defense that was the Miami Dolphins that was markedly much better than this Ravens defense. Does that rushing attack for Baltimore concern me when it comes to what's going on here with the Bills? Absolutely. And that's why I think this game's so compelling. But for me, give me the number 2 team in the AFC who's beaten much better defenses than this in this game. If it's going to happen, if Josh Allen's going to be for real, this is the game. This is the game that he wins. Bills Mafia, no matter what, has nothing to complain about. They won their game last week. They got a playoff win for the first time in however many fucking years. But
1994.
Yep. But I think they continue it here, and I think the Bills win this game. Give me 31-24.
Got it.
Buffalo Bills. Lovely stuff. Mario, let's go to you. Browns Chiefs.
Ooh. Now, guys, this game is I want everybody to go to the kitchen and go to the spice straw and get some cumin, some paprika, get all the things that are fucking spicy, okay? Because this game has all that. Okay, everyone wants to talk about. Look at Cox. He's going to get the fucking.
He loves spices. Let me tell you.
Man, there you go, my man. There they are. So
I got cumin,
all that stuff.
I got paprika, and he's got curry.
Yeah.
And you know what? Hold him up again. Because you see the color of the paprika? That's the fucking team colors that are gonna fucking win this week. And that's the Cleveland motherfucking Browns.
Whoa.
He's thrown the fucking Chiefs. And I'm going to tell you why.
I would hope you did.
You know what? Now I'm not going to tell you.
All right. Cox, what's next then?
Give it to myself.
No, Mario, go.
Fucking prick. Cleveland is I just think that they're riding so high right now. And the Chiefs, I just don't. I know that they win, but they win ugly. But I just don't think that they're ready to face a defense that's riding as high as the Browns are riding right now.
Mm-hmm.
Especially coming off the game that they just came off of. That defense feels like they can conquer the world. I don't think the Chiefs come off fresh. I know they had the bye, but I think they come in a little rusty. And I think that plays into Cleveland's hands this week. I think they're on them. I think Garrett, I think that defensive line is going to get, and I think they're actually going to disrupt that offense. And I think it's going to be a close game, but I just think that this is, I say it, but I think this is Cleveland's year. I think they can at least make it to that championship game. And shit, call me crazy, but give me the fucking dog pound. Give me the Cleveland Browns. Give me a 21-17 win.
I love it.
Wow.
Can I go next?
Yeah, sure.
By the way,
I have takes. Can I go next?
He's got a date.
I didn't get my X factor.
Still
Oh, yeah,
static.
go for it.
My X factor
By
is
the way, that
Chubb,
NFC average age would have.
and I think Chubb rushes for over 150 yards and a touchdown.
Okay.
I know you're asking.
So
Because
I agree with you that the Browns are going to win this game.
Whoa.
I think that they're going to do this by running the football, just like you said. They're going to keep if they can limit Patrick Mahomes to 8 or 9 drives and just eat up clock, which they're totally capable of. They can win this game. They can. Their defense is solid. It's not like a astounding defense, but it's a solid defense. And not only are the Chiefs going to be a little rusty, I feel, coming into this, but let's take a look back at some of the teams that they narrowly lost to. There were the Chargers, 23-20.
Good team.
There were okay. There was the Panthers, 33-31. Not a good team.
Great coach.
The Raiders, they did lose to once.
Mm-hmm.
They beat only by 4, 35-31. Let's see, the Broncos, they only beat by 6. Let's see, then the Falcons. The Falcons, they only scored 17 points against the Falcons.
Yeah.
All right.
That's concerning to me. They seem to be okay with living in this idea that they can just flip a switch on at any time. Well, that works great until that moment where you flip the switch and oh shit, circuit breaker tripped. I gotta go flick that back on. Yeah, but then the dog pound's right there to punch you in the fucking mouth, and that's what they're gonna do. If the Browns are gonna get out to an early lead here, and they're not gonna let it go.
Okay.
Just not. So I think I honestly think Browns will win this game all the way.
Okay.
And I think they will win this game. I think they'll win it 30-20. I do.
All right. What's your X factor?
Oh, my X factor is going to be Baker Mayfield in managing the game and not trying to play hero ball. You can't go out there and try and throw on them because you're going to end up making mistakes and you're going to throw a pick or two that are going to cost you the game. You can't do it. Just be smart, run the ball, listen to your offensive coordinator, and just run the ball. Be smart, and you can win this game. And you can be facing the Bills next week.
Cool. Jay.
Okay. Oh my God. You guys are out of your fucking minds. Baker can wake up feeling as dangerous as he wants. Are you fucking kidding me? Mahomes is gonna light this fucking defense up. They've been horrible in pass defense all year.
They only scored 17 against the Falcons. The Falcons are the worst pass defense in the fucking league, and they only 17. You shit.
Horrible. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I love you.
Dude, they're in fucking we're playoff
You've
mode.
been drinking way
We're
too
going to
much.
the playoffs. We're going to the playoffs. Dude, Mahomes is gonna fucking toss like.
How'd that work for the Steelers? Oh, we're going to the playoffs.
Yeah, the difference is Mahomes is like what, 25 years old and the best quarterback in the NFL.
Go ahead, spot your bullshit.
Dude, the Chiefs are winning this game. It's not even a question.
All right,
are you
so
fucking out of your mind?
Jay's got the Chiefs. I'm writing it down.
Write it down.
Tyreek Hill is gonna blow up this fucking shitty ass secondary. But even if Tyreek doesn't go off, fucking Kelsey's gonna go off. They have too many weapons. The offense is too good. It's just the system is too good. They're gonna fuck up the Browns. It's gonna be 35 to fucking 17. Fucking
17.
Chiefs.
X Factor.
Mahomes, the best quarterback in the NFL.
Dope. I like that was brief because we got to keep moving here.
Yeah, man.
I mean, what the Browns did last week was ridiculous. I didn't.
Subpar team.
Hey, did I interrupt you fucking at all? Did I interrupt any of you? I was silent this whole time, and every fucking time I try to talk, y'all chime in. So, just did then. You fucking idiot. No, I'm just fucking with what the Browns did last week was astonishing, and I didn't see it coming. I don't think really anybody did. That was striking. What the defense did, I think a lot of that could be put up to, I mean, that is one snap in his career that Marquise Pouncey really fucked up. That's not a common thing for him. So like there were a lot of weird factors at play there, but that's momentum. That's a statement that's very important, especially in playoff football. I'm not discounting that at all. That being said, I am not betting against Andy Reid coming off a bye week.
Thank you.
He's had a week to prepare. The man is incredible as a coach. The man's proven he can win Super Bowls now after last year. With Showtime Mahomes, the core's in place. They're the same team that won the Super Bowl last year. I think it's kind of a fool's gambit to bet against them. I think the X factor to this game is Tyrann Mathieu. If he can spy Baker Mayfield, read him. He's not crazy hard to read. You know where he's going with the ball a lot of the time. I think this could be a pretty competitive game. I think the X factor in tilting this mostly towards the Chiefs' favor is how Tyrann Mathieu commands that secondary against like a solid, not great passing game that the Browns have. And if they get down for any reason because this Kansas City offense is so dynamic and they have to start throwing, that's when Mathieu can feast. If for whatever reason this becomes a tempo game where that Cleveland Browns rush offense can eat clock, get methodically down the field, score when they need to, it's a completely different game. I don't foresee that happening because we've seen the Chiefs offense score in mere seconds. So deep down for me, I think Baker's going to have to throw the ball. And the factor is to if he can outsmart Tyrann Mathieu, which I don't see happening. So I think the Chiefs win this game. Give me 35-27 Kansas City Chiefs.
By the way, are you wearing your honey?
The voice of reason in here. Jesus Christ.
Are you wearing your honey badger underwear?
I wish I was. You guys
aren't like.
Go figure. He's your X factor.
They're the best team in the NFL. What the hell's wrong?
What do you mean? Go figure. He's a great safety against a quarterback who's very easy to read in the passing game.
He's like fine, I guess.
That's a more than justified X factor, Mario. I'm sorry I didn't pick Landon Collins. He's not playing football right now. So
who is taking Baker Mayfield over Showtime Mahomes? Are you kidding me?
I'm taking
Dude,
Nick Chubb
the
and
defense.
no, I like their picks. I don't think their picks are incorrect. I think that's very good and that's very cool. And I like that there's a split here. Things are going to be very spicy with their picks down the line here.
It is spicy.
I will go last here, and we got to move on because we have a big head coaching roundup that we want to do. So I'm going to boogie here. I have Pack v Rams, very compelling game that I fucking love on paper because it's that dynamic as fuck Aaron Rodgers led offense versus the best defense in the NFL in the LA Rams. This is incredible as a game because I'm very, very excited to see how this unfolds. I think my X factor in this game is going to be, God, there's so many that I want to pick. But since I'm going first, I'll only do one. And I think it's to see how clutch Cooper Kupp is going to be in this passing game.
Okay.
If Cooper Kupp goes for over 100, I think the Rams win this game.
Cooper Kupp.
I think, yeah. And it depends, obviously, Walford, the other fucking guy, Jared Goff.
He's out skating.
Yeah.
So it's Jared Goff. It's confirmed Jared Goff. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, Bortles
Yeah.
backup. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. That's rough. I don't like that.
Yikes.
But with all that being said, I think this is a very stark offense versus defense game. And it comes down to coaching. Do you love what the Packers are doing coaching wise, or do you lean more into McVay? And I think that dictates more than anything going into this. And with all of these factors and the X factors and everything I've talked about, give me the LA Rams.
Ooh.
The LA Rams win this game.
Okay.
They've gone through the ringer to get here. They're riding a wave of momentum. And you'll note that one of the things I said is whatever team makes it out of that NFC West is the one that makes the Super Bowl. So if I'm going to hitch my wagon to that, defense wins championships, and Aaron Rodgers has not faced a defense like this yet. Obviously, he's lovely. He's great, whatever. The other big X factor, because I don't think anybody else is going to do this, Aaron Rodgers has a ridiculous record in freezing temperatures. I think he's got like 27 touchdowns, 1 interception, and I think he's maybe lost one game, if that. I don't think that happens here, though. I think Aaron Rodgers suffers another loss. I think that defense gets to him. Aaron Donald is going to eat here. And give me the Rams. I don't think it'll be crazy high scoring, especially if it's cold. Give me 21-17 Rams.
That's so funny.
All right. Jesus.
That's what I'm going to do here. You can go next because you were giggling.
Oh, go.
Because I have the Rams as well.
Let's go, Mary.
My X factor is Aaron Donald because I think he's the man. And my score, if you can see right there, is 21-17.
I love it.
Hell yeah, dude.
I just think that Aaron Donald is the X factor here. I just think that he is just going to be disruptive. And if we've all seen Aaron Rodgers. If you get to him, he gets a little rally, gets pissed off, he gets out of his element, and I just think that's how it's going to go down. D, what was your X factor? Was it Cooper Kupp?
I said that, but let me flip it. The X factor's Jalen Ramsey on his primary target, Devontae Adams.
Because I'm writing them down. I wrote down everybody's X factor.
No, that's fair. I'm gonna flip it. It's Jalen Ramsey on basically the person that Aaron Rodgers has leaned on for this entire season.
Love it.
I'm a DB nerd. I after much thought, I'm gonna go with that.
Are you sure? Are you sure you're a DB nerd?
Yeah, I'm absolutely.
I'd take you more of a tight end nerd, but you are a DB nerd too.
Oh, I'm a tight end nerd? I'll take it.
You are. Tight end.
I do.
Andrew, and your guy over there.
Dan Arnold, the god. Big shout out to Dan Arnold.
You love those.
Stay with the team, please.
Dan Arnold.
He's in a contract here. I hope he stays.
Great minds think alike there, DT.
Fuck yeah, brother. Coxey.
I also am taking the Rams.
No way!
I am.
Wow.
My X factor is also going to be Jalen Ramsey.
Come on, nice.
It is. That's the matchup, because otherwise, who's Aaron Rodgers going to?
He's a one-trick pony.
Confidence. I think it's like 75% of their attempts to complete. But if you can stop that, then that's their offense. That's it. Who's he throwing to with confidence? Marquez Valdez-Scantling? No.
That guy has the case of the drops like you read about.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen. So if he can shut him down, then the Rams have this game because he'll just sit there and clutch, and then Donald will eat him. It won't matter. And I'm not worried about the Packers defense at all against what is a pretty efficient Rams offense. Like and Goff has said this week that my finger doesn't hurt. There's no excuse if I have a bad game. No, I know. But if you're gonna say that, then you gotta back it the fuck up at least, and at least be efficient, because that, again, said it multiple times. That offense is not hard to run. It's not. It's a very simple offense for a quarterback. The fact that they paid him that much money is being shown to be stupid. It was a ridiculous contract to sign him to. I'm gonna take it's gonna be low scoring. I'm gonna take the Rams, but I'm gonna take them 24-17.
I like it.
17, nice.
Jay, take us home.
I'm going to be the voice of reason here. I'm taking the fucking Packers, dude. What the fuck? Dude, Aaron Rodgers is the MVP of the league this year.
Sure is.
We can all say that, right? Without any.
I think it should be Derrick Henry personally, but
I mean, yeah, but
it will be.
It will be Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely.
Look, the Rams have looked great at times. They also lost to the fucking Jets. They've looked bad at times. I don't foresee them. I don't see them losing to the fucking Rams. I really don't. And especially with Goff. I know you said his finger feels fine, but he threw for 170 yards last week. Looked okay, not great. And I know that that's the scheme, which is fine. But they also have they have decent corners. They can. I mean, they're not gonna like stop them. They're not gonna like keep them to like 7-10 points or something like that.
Jair Alexander's very fucking good for Green Bay.
That's what I'm saying. They have enough guys that they can keep them down to like maybe like 20-ish points. And if you're telling me that Aaron Rodgers isn't going to score more than 20 points, then I got a bridge to sell you in New York.
What's your X factor?
Aaron Jones.
Fair. I almost picked him.
Receiving Aaron Jones.
Ooh.
Okay.
Spicy. And what was your score again?
I don't even remember. 27-21, I think. Something like that.
Just so you're aware, Jay, the two best defenses they played against this year were the Bucs and the Colts.
Yeah, and they lost.
They lost both those games.
Didn't you just say the Bucs had a good defense? Like
I just said that the two
best
defenses that they have played are the Bucs and the Colts. They lost both of them,
and they lost both games.
Oh, and they lost. You cut out. Sorry.
Oh.
And the Bucs and the Bucs have a secondary you can pass on. They only scored 10 points.
So. I'm still taking the Pack here.
And that was
sure.
That was actually in October when the Bucs weren't even figuring it all.
Yeah, they weren't very good yet.
I'm pretty sure that Todd Bowles has kind of drifted off the last from what I've been reading.
Anywho, boys, let's make our shot takes if you haven't, or recap them if you have. I know Cox and Unk both made some, so let's start with Cox.
Did you write mine down, Unk?
I did. I'm looking here.
You were capping.
Your shot take was.
I'm glad someone's writing this shit down.
I do it after the fact.
I know I have it here. Let me just give me a second.
He's got to go through his paper. I know. I think.
You did. You had here. Okay. You had here. It was your boyfriend throws for 350 and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Oh, I had another one too.
Here we go.
For the Bucs Saints game. Oh God! What
Make it up.
Antonio Brown. Yep. Five catches, 125 and a touchdown.
Yeah, that was it. So those are your 2 shot takes. You get that, Unk?
What was A Brown? What was your
AB 5 catches?
All right, while we deliberate, I'll be right back.
All right.
Receptions, 125 and a touchdown.
125 and a TD. All right, got you.
Unk, you already had one too. What was yours?
I did. I wish I could find it.
Come on, man.
Oh, I have it here. Kamara goes over. No, I didn't take Kamara. I was gonna take Kamara.
I thought you did. He's gonna have a rushing touchdown. And then
Yeah, you said he was.
and Breeze will have 3 passing.
That's right.
Mm.
These 3 TDs, Kamara 1 rushing.
Is that one or is that 2 separate?
Kamara 1 rushing touchdown, and Breeze throws.
Yeah, but is that for 1 shot or 2 shots?
Shot take.
All right, just checking.
We're doing 1.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. For me, what I am going to do. Oh, is that too spicy? Fuck it.
There's no such thing.
There's no such thing.
Tyron Honey Badger Matthew has 2 interceptions of Baker Mayfield.
Ooh,
He's my X factor in that game, and he
I like it.
shows it.
I like it.
You want to throw a little more, like you want to throw a little paprika on there? Is one of them a pick 6 or no?
No, because I'll probably. I think right here. I'm also gonna do a second one, and I'm gonna say, in addition, as a separate shot, Aaron Donald gets to Rodgers twice, and that's why the Rams win.
Okay.
So that's 2 sacks.
2 sacks for Aaron Donald, and 2 picks for the Honey Badger, or my 2 separate shot takes
I like it.
for this.
I'm gonna add another one.
Oh yeah.
I want to add Baker Mayfield throws for 2 TDs and
Ooh.
rushes for over 50 yards.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. I like that.
Nice.
Jay, what are your shot take or takes?
I had 1. What was it again?
I don't know.
I thought Mario.
Mario might have written it down. He's also scribing. He's scribing and vibing right now.
Mario's the scribe from now on.
Yeah. Young boy.
Jay, you said
That you will suck a total of 3 dicks before Sunday's final game.
Wait.
you said you
bump that down to 2.
Your shot take was that if your shot take didn't come through, you don't have to take a shot, but you will wear a Bill Parcells hoodie for the rest of the fucking.
Mm-hmm. Belichick hoodie.
Bill Parcells, yes.
I meant a Belichick. Get the fuck down. Dude, I don't see yours, Jay. I really don't.
I don't think he made one.
I don't think you made one.
No,
I really don't, because I've been writing them.
I thought I did, but let's go with Josh Allen under 2 touchdowns.
Oh no,
Period.
yeah, you made
Period.
the one against me on under 350.
Oh yeah, you said Allen would have under 350.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll double.
Is that a shot take, really?
It was the opposite of me. Yeah,
Well,
like
yeah.
So you were fucking
Yeah.
around.
All right. So so my real shot take is that Josh Allen will have 0 touchdowns.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
All right, that's spicy.
I'm putting a big
Okay.
0 on the page. 0
Yeah.
TDs. Holy shit.
So boys,
No one wants to drink next week.
so boys,
He just made chili, and he put like all kinds of habaneros
yeah.
and like all kinds of peppers.
So boys, we have 3 minutes until the 2-hour mark.
Okay, buddy.
So what I want to ask you is, do we do the whole full head coaches like we talked about, or we just talk about the 3 places that have hired people?
Let's just talk about the 3 that hired people.
Yeah, let's talk about the 3.
All right, so we have a big head coaching roundup. We're going to do all the places, but as things typically get away from us, these things don't happen. So what we're going to do instead is with the places that have hired people, we're going to do a love-hate. The 3 major places that have hired people: Urban Meyer to Jacksonville, Arthur Smith to the Falcons, and last but certainly not least in most people's minds here, Robert Saleh to the New York Football Jets. And I would be remiss if we don't start with Bob Saleh and the New York Jets. And I will go to Jay if this is a love or a hate, and how you think this affects them in the upcoming season. Go.
Are we strapped for time? Because I got some time here.
We're about to hit 2 hours in 2 minutes. So
A little quick.
God, I got so many points though.
if we hit 2:30, then I'm gonna just hit end.
All right,
So
all right, Robert Saleh. One thing, a couple points. One will be he's the first Muslim NFL head coach in the history of the NFL. Which
love that.
Yes, he is.
Love that.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Love that.
Of Lebanese descent. couple other things. I was looking at his backstory and everything. He actually worked in big business until his brother was involved in 9/11, and he decided that he didn't want to waste his life doing something he didn't care about. So he went and took a minimum wage job for an NFL team and worked his way up to defensive coordinator for the 49ers, obviously the last 3 years, and now is the head coach of the New York fucking Jets.
Very
legend.
So worked
Admirable.
Leader of men, which is this is exactly what Christopher Johnson was talking about. What Joe Douglas was talking about. They wanted a CEO type head coach who would take control of the team. And Adam Gase was like, "Well, I'm the leader of the offense. That's it." They wanted a leader of the team, and I think this is what we got. I'm beside myself. I mean, at the start of the head coaching search, I didn't even talk about Saleh because I didn't think we had a fucking shot at him. I just didn't. He was by far the top of most people's lists as far as being like the best candidate. He's a Brian Flores. He's a Joe Judge. He's that guy. He's a leader of people. I'm not going to go too far into it, but I'm happy. I'm really happy. I think it was a home run for the Jets. I'm surprised. I mean, it was one of those days where it's like, did we just get a win today? Did the Jets?
Yeah.
The last 10 years, we don't have a lot of wins, and it feels like a day where I can celebrate being a Jets fan.
Yeah, absolutely. Twitter loved it.
Okay.
Everybody said it was a win for you guys.
loved it.
The best head coach they said you guys had in at least a decade, so that's a huge win for you. My quick question to you is, again, you didn't even really talk about Saleh when we were talking about head coaches here. Like, what are your thoughts about not getting Bieniemy? Like, where does that compare to what's going on here?
Oh, I would have loved Bieniemy. I still think I'm flabbergasted that he hasn't had more head coach calls. I think he'll be excellent, but the reason I didn't bring Saleh up is because, like I said, everything I was reading on Twitter, everything I was reading in the national media, the local Jets media, was that we didn't even have a shot at Saleh. He was not even going to consider us, and this just reiterates my point that I think that we have an actual GM with Joe Douglas. Because Joe Douglas didn't let him go away. He's like, no, you're going to be a fucking New York Jet. And everything I was reading today was saying, like, Saleh was texting, like, agents and in the media and saying, he's like, shit, I want to be a New York Jet after meeting with Joe Douglas. And that just confirms my confidence in that. I think I might be getting ahead of myself, but I think for the first time in my lifetime, the Jets have a competent GM and a competent head coach.
That's really exciting, man. I'm pumped for you. Saleh's a fucking dude. Saleh's a dude. I think you guys are well poised. I think Joe Douglas is going to pull some rabbit out of the hat shit for you this offseason with those picks in the capital you have. Like, they are must-see TV this offseason. I'm very, very excited to check it out. So I think that's really, really cool for you. Cox, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I love this. I love this. Is great for that organization. I was a little concerned when they let him after the second interview that they let him walk out the door.
Yeah, me too.
Why is he not sign? Have him sign the papers. What are you doing?
I was convinced that he was gone.
I was like, what are you? He's going to go to Philly. What are you doing? But no, they got him to sign the papers. This is a magic signing for them. I thought for sure they were going to jet this up and watch this, but they didn't. They didn't. So I have to give credit to Joe Douglas here. I have to give credit to that organization. They got this right. They 100% got this right. The only thing I will caution, quick word of caution, is with a defensive-minded coach like this. If your OC fixes Darnold, he's gone. He will get a head coaching job somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't think that's going to be a huge problem for you, because I think your defense is what you're going to build around now.
Yeah,
and it's going to be huge for you going forward, and you're going to be able to basically you're going to have an offensive scheme and a defensive scheme. You're basically going to become the 49ers of the
I
year.
was gonna bring this up. I didn't know how much time DT would want us to have on this, but
But no,
I was searching Twitter. I was searching articles, both Jets beat writers and national media, and the only knock I could come up with, the only knock I saw on anything was, well, I mean, if he gets a good staff, then they're going to poach your offensive coordinator in 2 years.
right.
And all Jets fans were like, if
So?
they poach our offensive coordinator, that means we had a good offense.
That means you're doing something right.
Yeah.
The Jets for the last 10 years.
Correct.
I think, yeah, and I think that's so far down the line right now.
Right.
It's like, you know,
But that's it. But that's it.
yeah,
Otherwise,
nitpick.
it's a love.
Yeah, he was going to take Mike LaFleur from the Niners with him. Like they're.
I have that here.
That's
He's got
happening.
Mike
That's happening.
LaFleur.
That's happening.
He's got Mike LaFleur.
Are you like happy with that though, Jay? Was where?
Ecstatic with that.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be the 49ers. That's
They're
what
running. They're running the Shanahan offense.
Yep.
With. I mean, the reports. Who knows what the fuck they're gonna do with the number 2 pick? But if they keep Sam Darnold, that is his off. That's the offense Sam Darnold needs to run, is a Shanahan offense.
Mm-hmm.
It's a run first zone running game with moving the pocket on passing plays. That's Sam Darnold to a T. And even if they go with Zach Wilson out of BYU, that's him to a T. Even if they go with the kid from Ohio State, that's him to a T. I just don't see a way in which. Well, I mean, it's the Jets; they're gonna fuck it up. But let me have my day.
Sure.
No, it's yours.
Cox, you got any points before I move to Mario for this?
Move to him.
Yeah.
Nope, I love it.
What do you got, Mario?
Just to piggyback off a little bit off of Salah, I'm just going to go a little bit and then I'll go to the other guys. I think it was a great hire. The other rumor that's coming out now is he's trying to bring D'Amico Ryan over as defensive coordinator
Ooh,
from the
that's
Niners.
good. I like that.
That'd be good.
There's going to be some pushback because the Niners are like, hey, you're leaving. We need a defensive coordinator. I think there's going to be some pushback. So
Probably.
it depends on how much they struggle for it. But if they can bring him in, I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Huge. I don't know much about Arthur. I really don't. But
Oh, you're going to the other people now.
I thought we were just going to be like, all right, Salah.
Well, I wanted Jay to bask, and then I was gonna go. But if you want to start with Arthur, if you want to start with Arthur Smith now, let me know if you like or love or hate that for the Falcons, and we'll go the other way around.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, Salah, great hire. I think he's what the Jets needed. He's their version of Joe Judge. I think he comes in. There's question marks about, experience as a head coach. He's never had it, but I think he's that guy where he's very detail oriented, like Judge. So I think you should be good there. Urban Meyer, I'm really surprised he took the job. He's had so much success in the college ranks. He's gonna go down as a Hall of Fame coach, but I don't know. That job scared me because the owner Khan came out last week and said, "I'm getting my hands in everything. I want to have full control of personnel, draft picks, coaching staff." That's a recipe for disaster.
Oh yeah.
So if I had, and then Arthur, I really don't know much about him. You guys will probably talk more about him. I'm sure you guys are probably a little more knowledgeable of him. He's coming from he's from the AFC. But if I had to put my 1, 2, 3, who I think is going to be the most successful out of the three guys, I'm going to put Salah, who comes into the best. He's going to have the best opportunity to succeed. You got the cap space. You got the draft picks. You got a quarterback. If you think you can fix him, you got a quarterback. It's not like you're starting from scratch. I like the appeal of bringing Darnold back, giving him the weapons and seeing what you got. Like what Chicago did with Trubisky, where they let him play out his fourth year, his fourth season, and you see what he's got.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think next will be Arthur. Even though I don't know much about him, I think he's going into a better franchise
situation, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Situation and franchise. And Urban, I just worry that you're probably going to get Trevor Lawrence, but what do you have? Because you could put a great quarterback on a team, but if he doesn't have the tools and if he doesn't have the offensive line or he doesn't have the weapons, I worry about that. And really, Jags, it's a bare cupboard.
Yep, 100%. All right, we'll rapid fire to Cox and Yaz about how if they love and hate Urban and Arthur, and then I'll give all three of mine at the end to put a bow on it. So Cox, what are your love hates on Urban and Arthur?
So I'll start with Arthur. I'm tentative. I love Arthur Smith as a hire. I don't understand why you hire a coach before you hire a GM.
Yeah.
Don't understand that at all.
They just did that multiple times,
Yes,
and it did not work out.
The only thing I will say is Arthur Smith. He is known as a great collaborator. He's not a very it's my way or the highway. He's very much a I will listen to all opinions and make the best decision for the team. That can really help them. But so much of this is dependent upon who they hire as the GM and what they want to do with the organization going, what they want to do with Matt Ryan and Julio Jones and their contracts, what they want to do with the cap problem that they're going to have, what that GM wants to do moving. So I can't really say whether I love Arthur Smith the hire, but I can't really see whether or not he's going to be successful. It depends on the GM.
Sure.
Urban Meyer. This is the biggest hit or miss of any of these jobs, because if he does the program building that he Florida and Ohio State and all of in those college programs, if he can do that here at the NFL level, then it's a huge hit. It's a huge hit. But if he has a couple 4-12 seasons and then he decides to leave for health reasons and to spend time with his family, well then you fucked up. You got nothing, and you're basically right back where you.
Sure.
So I don't know. I don't love that signing, to be completely honest. I think there's too much risk there. There's other better guys. Like, you could go get an Eric Bieniemy right now and pair him with Trevor Lawrence, and there you go. You could give him a chance. Like, you could give other people a chance. Urban, like these college to NFL guys, more times than not, don't work out.
Yep.
And with Urban Meyer, he's already shown that 3 or 4 years in and not give a fuck.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I don't love that.
It has the Nick Saban smell all over.
It does.
Oh
it does.
God, you just stole my point.
Sorry, Jay.
Jay, all right. Arthur and Urban. Give me.
All right. So for Arthur Smith. All right. So we let Salah leave the building. I was furious because Arthur Smith was coming in for his second interview. And I don't think he would have been terrible for us. I worry about, I think we said this last week too. I worry about he had the best running back in the NFL by far. He relied on that running game a lot. And I know that Tannehill had a kind of resurgence behind him, but how much of that was predicated on the fact that he had a 2,000-yard rusher to rely on?
That's a good point.
And the things I was hearing on Twitter and in the media and everything was that Arthur Smith wasn't as much of a leader, if you will, as some of the other candidates. I'm surprised that Enemy hasn't gotten more traction in the last. I don't understand that at all.
Well, so I'm gonna do a thing at the very end, very rapid fire about Bieniemy. So
yeah. I think Arthur Smith will be fine if they keep the pieces they have. They have Matt Ryan and they have Julio Jones. If they keep those two pieces, how far that will last is probably 1-2 years, maybe ish. As far as Urban Meyer, I don't think his shtick is gonna translate well in the NFL. I don't think that NFL players are gonna respond to that in an NFL locker room. I think he's very much it's my way or the highway kind of guy. And that works when you're working with 18, 19-year-old kids. But when you're working with professionals who are 25 to 32 years old, how much of that, like, how much shit are they going to take before they're like, fuck this guy?
Yep.
And I guess that's my point. Is just I just don't know. I don't think his whole deal. And Mary made it. This is the point I was going to make. Mary, it's a Saban-esque hire. We all saw how that worked out in Miami, and what was done 5. I think.
What a mess! What a mess that was.
It was a fucking mess. And I mean, personally, when they hired Urban Meyer, I was like, thank God they just ruined their franchise. That was my thought.
So I'll go because I haven't gone at all yet. Love Robert Saleh. Think he's gonna fucking change the entire dynamic of the Jets. Very, very excited. Joe Douglas looks like a dude. I'm very eager for their offseason. That's going to be a lot of fucking fun to see. I'm going to do this in love, like, hate. I love Robert Saleh. I like Arthur Smith as the hire. Depends on what they can keep around them. Much like you guys said, a lot of projections have them taking a QB with that pick that Atlanta has. And if they go in that direction, maybe he can nurture somebody. Calvin Ridley's no slouch there at the wide receiver position. So even if they lose Julio, they might still be able to make something happen under Arthur Smith. So I like that. Cautiously optimistic there. Fucking hate Urban Meyer. Hate Urban Meyer, not even as a head coach pick. I fucking hate the guy. And I'm a guy who was a Tim Tebow and that Florida Gators team stan. But what I learned is Urban Meyer's a fucking coward. When the chips are down, he'll fucking leave. He'll retire. He'll do something for health reasons. Fuck that guy. I will say that on these airwaves to everybody. Urban Meyer is going to go fucking 3-13 next year with that Jags team and then say that something's going on and he can't do it. He's that kid, if you ever played football, he's the kid who, when you're down 17 in the second quarter, fakes a leg injury and can't play the rest of the game.
And takes his ball home.
Yeah. He's that fucking kid. That's who Urban Meyer is. Fuck that guy. The Jaguars made a terrible decision. Khan, who, if you look at a picture of Khan, the owner, he looks like the guy that he sees the guys get off the team plane and just hopes they had a good time at the game. Like, I don't trust that guy for any reason. Yeah, I'm just, did you guys have fun playing the throw sport with the oblong ball? That was actually really fucked up and really bad.
The throw.
That I want to reiterate.
It's fine.
That was bad. I made a dumb accent there.
It's fine.
But good. Doesn't matter if you make an accent or not.
No, but still, I don't want this to be
culture.
I don't want this to be about where he comes from. And that's not what I'm trying to get at here. I don't think he's a good enough football mind, and I'm going to reiterate that before. So my apologies if anybody that's on me.
Johnson's are the whitest people in his like white people, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I think you took it down a road you didn't have to take it down.
I just realized the accent I did wasn't great. So anyways, so real fast, rapid fire, what I want to do to cap this, because we're over our time even from last week now. Where do you think Eric Bieniemy goes? I'm going to start Chargers. Mario. Knee jerk.
Oh, shit. Houston.
All right, Coxie, knee jerk.
Chargers.
Yaze.
Houston.
Ooh, we got a split here. I love that. We can.
Dayball's going to the Chargers.
We can maybe debate heavier when we actually get to our head coaching roundtable that I've had on the run sheet for the last 2 weeks. I would love to get there, but you guys, we're well over time here. We're about to hit the 2 hour, 18-minute mark. Any parting thoughts before I wrap things up here?
No, I can't wait till we get to the round table because there's a lot to talk about.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Shit. But I'm excited for the games this weekend. Good luck, Cox.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Even though I don't think they're going to win, they could win, and it wouldn't hurt me either way. But I want everybody to have a good luck if you have a horse in the race. If not, everybody have a fun time watching the games.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Best of luck to Cox. If you have a horse in the race, unless you're a Saints fan, we hope you win your games this week. If you have a horse in the race, if not, enjoy some good fucking football because it's playoff time, baby, and this is what we live and thrive for. So we hope to see you again next week when we talk about the championship games and things get extra spicy, and we still somehow find a way to go overtime despite our discussion points. So I hope you enjoy. We're having a lot of fun doing this. We hope you're having a lot of fun. Enjoy joining with us. If you have any thoughts, opinions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. If we get any particularly spicy talking points or things we want to talk about, we'll bring them up. So feel free to drop your comments, drop your thoughts, drop your opinions. We want you guys to be as much a part of this as we are, because we love you. We appreciate anybody who takes the time out of this to hear us spew our bullshit. But until next week, we hope you have a wonderful week of football, and we will see you all next week. Say goodbye, guys.
Bye for now.
Later.
Catch you later.